for me in my life today, um, I'm just not focused on the show anymore. I would say it's harder when you are an influencer or when you are a content creator, because for the most part, unless you're like already up there, I mean, it's a one woman show. I know that I'm strong. I know I've gone through it all and I'm still here. Life is an up and down roller coaster. And I think that to know that I can depend on myself is what gives me that confidence.
Cheryl Burke is widely known for her time as a pro dancer on ABC's Dancing with the Stars, having been a part of the show in that capacity for 26 seasons before exiting in 2022. She's a two-time Mirrorball champ and will forever hold the title of being the first female pro to win the series. Her expertise in dance eventually led to her taking over for Abby Lee Miller on Dance Moms. But Cheryl is embarking on a new chapter off the dance floor as she's pivoting toward the beauty influencer space. She's currently a part of the Sephora Squad, which aims to promote diversity and authenticity within the beauty world by amplifying creators from different backgrounds. Cheryl opens up about her exciting new chapter, her Dancing with the Stars past, her continued transparency, and more as part of the Dory Jackson Interview. Hi, Cheryl. I'm so happy to see you, and I'm so happy we're doing this today. And thank you again for
Hey,
just
thanks.
agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. This is going
oh,
to be fun. It's been a
and
while since we talked, right? It's
I
been like
know.
a couple, has it been a couple of years or a year?
Yeah, I mean, we've DM'd here and there and
Yeah.
commented on stuff, but yeah, nothing
Yeah.
major. But this is our first real catch up in a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Of course, you have this new endeavor that you're diving into headfirst within the beauty space, diving into beauty influencer stuff. So I know fans have been noticing the shift in your content, and I'm just very curious to know what kind of sparked this new endeavor on your end.
I have, I guess, always been into makeup because I was a competitive ballroom dancer since I was 11 and then performed internationally and took it seriously at 13. And within that, we don't have the, advantage of having makeup artists with us. And when you're in the actual competitive space, you do have to look the part, which means like, cut, cheekbones, everything's an illusion from your six pack to, I mean, everything is an illusion. And, you prep ahead of time for all of this, but, people were performing sometimes in huge halls. And even if we're at the Hotel Marriott, like we are glammed up. It's crazy. And so I had to learn at a very young age how to create, I guess, illusions from my face to my toes, really. And also with ballroom dancing in general, just movement with two people when doing the international like Latin division, it is very much an illusion of how you can be quicker on your feet. The detailing, it's all in the detailing. And same with makeup. I think for the longest time, because I would always get so frustrated putting my eyelashes on, like I would throw temper tantrums. I would kick people out of my hotel room, be like, okay, I need no stress around me. And these lashes were killing me. But I think it kind of took the joy away from makeup for me. And then I guess I would say after Dancing with the Stars, because we had our makeup done. And for some reason, once I started getting my makeup done professionally, I was like, oh, I can't do my makeup like that. So
I
I
feel
just
the same way.
like, I never did it. Like, I just never did it because I felt just too intimidated. And I was focused on just getting my partner to learn how to cha-cha, to be quite honest. And I wasn't focused. I wish I would have taken that time to really dissect what they were doing, but I was stressed for 17 years straight. And then afterwards, it's kind of like, well, for every day, I do put makeup on. And then it was really embracing that journey of, okay, well, since I don't need to create more cheekbones or bigger lips, like, here's my canvas and this is who I am, behind the stage makeup. And it's just learning to enhance. And I never understood that. I never thought makeup was there to enhance someone's features. I thought it was there to change completely somebody's
Mhm.
features. So it's interesting at 42, I'm really just discovering who I really am underneath all of that makeup.
I feel like I need tips from you right now because I'm not the biggest makeup person. I mostly just wear concealer and
Tons.
mascara and like brow stuff. And so
Okay.
I like to do more of a natural look and rather, like you said,
Yeah.
enhance those natural features rather than just change my whole face. So what have you kind of learned through that process?
Yeah. Oh, I've learned so much, girl. Okay, well, first of all, do you have dry skin? Like, do you,
I'm a little
what
dry. Yeah.
your dry combo, you would say,
Yeah.
maybe? Okay, same. So it's all about light layering.
Okay.
It's really all about light layering. And what I've realized too, it's, creating your eyebrows first is really important because it just builds the structure of your face. Like it's the foundation, right? So you can't do anything without the foundation of anything. So
Yeah.
doing that is very important. I've always known that. I've learned that from like makeup artists in the past. And now, I used to use this thing called RCMA, which was
Hmm.
this like, it's not sold at Sephora, but it's a privately owned brand. But they just make stage makeup, and it's just for professionals, really. But I learned that when I first came here, and one of my first makeup artists I worked with, she just slapped that on and it covered everything. But like, you don't need to put a lot on. Like, for example, today I used House Labs foundation, right?
Ooh,
So I
good
just
stuff.
put one tiny, that's it, one tiny drop. And then I use Mary Phillips brush. And you want to prime your brush, meaning like this is from Katie Jane Hughes. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's an amazing educator. She does like Dua Lipa's makeup, and she has a channel that is just so informative. There's so much information out there, and you just have to try. You got to test, you got
Yeah.
to fail, you got to see what's best for you. But I've just realized light layering and just taking the time to do it. And I know people hate that, but there is no such. You'll never see me do a 5-minute glam on my social media because I just don't believe in that. Then don't do your glam.
It takes effort. But like you said,
Well, yeah.
yeah, it's that trial and error. So with your process, what are your kind of go-to products, and are there products that you're like, okay, I'm not using these. These are a no-go. If you're okay with saying
Yeah. Oh no,
that.
please. I mean, I wish I could just turn I have products surrounding me. It's insanity. Like, I guess when I get really into something, I'm really into it. There's no turning back. But I've noticed, so it's all about skincare, right? So your makeup is only going to be as good as your skincare. And I never, skincare. I was like, you mean just a makeup wipe and rip off my eyelashes and that's it? Call it a day? I mean, that's what I would do on the show. I never washed my face. I don't think once.
What?
Uh, yeah, not once.
Okay, but now
I
you
don't ever remember putting water to my face and actually no. But my skin was. I mean, I guess it's genetics.
yeah.
I highly don't recommend doing that.
Yeah, you need to wash
Um,
your face, double
and
cleanse.
you also need to double cleanse. Yeah, double
Yeah.
cleansing is a must. And you don't want to overdo it though. Like I used to double cleanse twice a day. I started stripping my skin. So then your
Yeah.
skin on your face is like so thin, and you just have to be very delicate with it. And if you don't like to do it, oh well, you just have to force yourself. And I only do it at nighttime. And then and sometimes I won't even put skincare on at night. I truly believe that we have been completely brainwashed to buying all these products, especially when it comes to skincare, when less is more. Like,
Hmm.
if you feel like your skin is fine, it's nice and clean, and it doesn't like crack when you make facial expressions, and it's not too dry if you lean more towards the drier side, I wouldn't put any skincare on at night because whenever I do, for
Same.
me at least, I break out big time. Like the
Wow.
next day, I'll wake up with this like random zit on my face, and I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but it's just skincare
Yeah, I just keep it very simple to just a serum, a moisturizer, and then my sunscreen during the day, and
and
that's it.
your SPF. But
Yeah,
at nighttime, what do you do?
just the serum and sunscreen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I
Or not
literally just
sunscreen,
use
moisturizer.
right, right, and I even think moisturizer might be too much. I use, Road Glazing Milk. This is
Ooh,
a beautiful toner that you can use underneath your makeup. This is the only step I do, and then I will use eye cream because my eyes have lived a life. Like I am, my eyes are so dry. But when I tell you it's so minimal, like the packaging, the amount of money it costs. Like for example, I'll never ever get through this whole thing. Like,
what is
it will expire, right? So then I will
yeah.
have to throw this away. This is Charlotte Tilbury's. This
Oh,
is her magic cream.
okay.
It's amazing, but I think this is the problem. The reason why we pill, the reason why our makeup pills, and the reason why there's going to be dry spots and all that is because we're using just the amount that we put on our face, right? Like it's not. It shouldn't ever be even half the size of that. Like it's literally. I just use my ring fingers,
Okay.
especially around my eyes. And that's it. Even in my makeup, like, and that's been a hard adjustment for me because I am like more, like I need more because I'm still like trying to be, I don't know, a ballroom dancer, I guess. So like I'm like contour, gotta contour the eyelid, you know.
Well, you're of course no stranger to embarking on a new chapter, but now with this transition from host to beauty influencer, how's that been for you so far? What challenges have you experienced in that? Because I know it's not
Yeah.
obviously easy. No chapter that you
No.
start on is easy.
No, and it's hard. I would say it's harder when you are an influencer or when you are a content creator, because for the most part, unless you're like already up there, I mean, it's a one woman show, So I don't have feedback. I get the feedback, yes, maybe from my analytics, but that's not really the feedback I'm looking for. Some posts are a hit. Like I've also done a deep dive on just algorithms in general from to all the platforms. Like I'm just curious, right? Like as to what performs well. But I just know this, like if you just stay true to what you love and you somehow not educate, but like somehow give tips that can actually help people, your content will be evergreen. And
Yeah.
you don't need to worry too much about it. I need to take my own advice because I'm very competitive and I'm also part of Sephora Squad. It's like obviously, there's an underlying pressure. They don't give us the pressure like we do. Like the squatters, I would say, do, because like we just want to do well and we don't sometimes don't know what that is number
Yeah.
wise, but maybe it's for the best.
Yeah. How did you decide that you wanted to go down the path of joining the Sephora Squad, and how has that community been like for you?
I literally follow this one beauty creator on Instagram. And one night I was scrolling. I don't scroll a lot, but I was scrolling. And she's like, make sure you guys petition and make sure you guys vote for me to be part of the Sephora. I said, what's this, a Sephora Squad? So I literally Googled it. And there was only 2 more days left to enter. And so I just got as many petitions as possible. My whole team, I was like emailing them, like, you guys just have to do this quick little, like, fill in just this quick survey or whatever. And that's how it happened, girl. It was just mindless scrolling.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, sure. I'm like, I spend a lot of money at Sephora, so might as well see if I can
Yeah.
get some free stuff. It was my intention going into it. I didn't know what the Sephora Squad was. I was like, if you would have told me 2 years ago to be part of a Sephora, I would have thought it was a cheerleading team. Like I had no idea what it is. But I'm so
Definitely. Yeah.
grateful that it has introduced me to so many amazing just people who are also in love with beauty and just the beauty space, but they're not there for the material stuff. It's deeper than what people may think it is. It's not about like how to do a wing liner at all. Like we're not professional for the most part. I would say a good portion of us are not, makeup artists.
Mhm.
Some are into fashion, some are more into hair, but people have a story of how they got here. And I think that's what makes everybody so interesting and makes everyone want to be a part of it because it is a community.
Do you see yourself maybe one day launching your own kind of beauty or makeup line?
I'm laughing because it's
What?
like you can read my mind.
Okay. So you're thinking
No,
about
but I'm
it.
not even gonna say. I'm not even gonna.
Okay.
I don't want to drink. It
Okay.
is not. I have so many ideas, girl,
Sure.
daily. Like my creative juices happen between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Like I'm a night
Okay.
owl, so like,
Oh, I'm the same way.
and the amount of ideas that I have, it's crazy. But yes, of course, like that's just my mind. Like I turned my hobby at the time was diamond painting into a business too. It's like
Yeah.
that's just I think it's my mother that was raised that part of me. But yeah, for sure, there's a lot of things missing in the beauty industry that I think will make somebody's life in general just a lot easier, just to be able to apply makeup quickly. And people are all about on the go and rush, rush, rush. There's a lot of ideas for sure. Now it's about how can I execute it. I mean, it'll be a long process if anything, but I also everything's it's saturated, right? So I have to, whatever I do, if I do anything, it has to really stand out from the pack. So
Absolutely. One of the things I love so much about you, and so many others I think can agree with this, is just your general transparency about things. I was reading your glamour essay that you did, and you were talking about how you have to be even more transparent now because the fact that you're in
yeah,
this beauty influencer space, and
yeah,
you talked about Botox and whatever else that you've done or haven't done, and you've been very
hmm
upfront about that. But I can't imagine being in your shoes because you have so many eyes on you. You have people talking about this thing about you, this thing about you in terms of your appearance or whatever. And so,
yeah, yeah,
how do you just tune out that noise, ignore the conversation surrounding just who you are and your appearance, things you can't necessarily help? Like, how do you not
yeah.
let that get to you?
Oh, it does. It gets to me for sure. I think it hasn't been too bad lately. I mean, also there's going to come a point where it just gets old. Like people are going to say the same thing every time. Like, but ultimately, I believe that no matter what, obviously all of that validation that sometimes I look outside myself for, it ultimately just it comes from you, right? From within. And I think when you work on that, then you just naturally start to not care. what people think. And I think, but that is a nasty work. That's not fun.
Sorry, my dog just distracted me. So
No, your dog is so cute. I
he
love my
is.
dog is
He's
with a sitter,
Chica.
or else she wouldn't.
He's been,
Oh,
yeah, he's
how old is
been good
he?
until just now. He's like, you're not paying attention to me, and
Oh, he's so cute.
I
How
know.
old is he?
He's two.
What's his name?
Chico.
Chico. Love it.
Yeah, like
I
the
love
song, like
dogs.
Chico's. Oh, who doesn't? Like, I feel like
Some people don't.
I
Stay
know.
far away from them. No, I'm kidding.
No, but you talked about this point at the end of the essay that I thought was just so powerful and beautiful, where you said you can now look at yourself in the mirror and you like what you see. And I think so many of
Hmm.
us struggle with that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might not say it, but I think we all do at some point.
For
So
sure.
how do you like reach that place for yourself?
It's about, I think, honestly, first of all, knowing that you don't like yourself, right? You have to understand that, like, whatever it is, whether it's a physical, ailment, or if it's just comparison, or if it's body dysmorphia that was instilled in you since you were a kid, it just depends. It's very personal. But I do believe that creating this space in the beauty industry, literally looking at myself in the mirror, probably more than I should if you were to dissect it. But like, I am in the beauty space, I am trying products out, but then I'm also like, I have to really take a look and like without the makeup on, and it's not even so much aesthetic. It's more about like the work I've been doing since I retired from Dancing with the Stars, just on who I am and still discovering who that is, and doing so with grace, I think is important, because I am very, I'm very results oriented. I want, a solution to everything. And sometimes you don't get it, and that's okay. And I think just watching and being self-conscious with the top, like that inner voice in your head that we all have, and understanding that, it's more important to give yourself feedback and do so with grace than doing that with anybody else in your life. Like, I think we always are such a good soundboard for other people, and we give such great advice, and we're gentle with the way we deliver, any message, but with ourselves it's just so harsh. And I think anyone can relate to that, and I think just being aware of it and pointing it out when it gets loud, I think that's the first step for me. It was, at least.
Absolutely. And you also said in the essay that your body changed after you stopped dancing. And I can attest
Yeah.
to that and I can validate your stance on that because I know people like if you don't dance, you don't get it. But like my body changed so much once I stopped
Oh,
dancing. Like
yeah.
I got boobs and I didn't have boobs. So
Right. No, yes, absolutely. And also the psychological stress of it all. Like, it really takes a toll on you, on everyone. You can't tell me that, it's not stressful in general. But also, I'm going through perimenopause. Like, I'm also 42. Like, stop comparing me to when I was 20.
yeah, you're gonna look different. That's just normal. And if you
Yeah.
didn't look different, I would
And
be
I
more
may be
concerned.
different than what this person is experiencing when she went through perimenopause. Muscle weighs more than fat. Like, I was jacked. Like, my legs were, I mean, I could literally, like, I was like a bodybuilder down there, I feel like. And when you don't, like, when you're not pounding on your body, it's changing. Maybe not for the best, but it's just, that's life.
You got to go back to Dancing with the Stars last
Hmm.
year, which was so cool to just see you back in that room and in a different capacity, which probably was kind of exciting to you to be behind the judges table rather than
Yeah.
on the dance floor. So
Yeah.
what kind of
Less stressful.
yeah, I'm sure. Like what kind of conversations led up to that point and how long were they going on for before you found the
Yeah. It was
time to
going
say
on
yes?
for a while, I would say.
Okay.
Like, I would say maybe a year, but
Oh wow.
how it is. It's just like, there's so many different things that happen behind the scenes that I don't even know about. But like, I'm happy that I was able to do it, even if it's just that one time. And it was in different type of nervous. It was like I wanted to. I mean, I think I overly studied, but I obviously dissected every couple because I did want to give feedback that these people could take with them. I think that's very important as a judge, regardless if it's for TV or not. I think you need to try and ultimately, right, I think the goal is to help these people. And so to do so in a short sound bite and to really be like, okay, so how could this help though moving forward? Like, I dissected each dance. I was like, okay, so since they already did Viennese waltz, they're not going to do Viennese waltz next week. So these are the dances that this couple has left that they could put my notes into good use for the next. So it was, I was really, I dove deep. I don't know if I ever would recommend the judges to do this every week, but like I just wasn't a part of the story, right? So I didn't really know the journey. I just knew it as an audience member, so I just wanted to be helpful. But I had a great time and it was fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll see you back. Fingers crossed, who
You
knows?
never know.
Anything's possible. I feel like, we could say
Yeah.
one thing, but then things change. Because I know,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So obviously, our last like really big like conversation was with the sex license spray tan.
Mhm.
Sex,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. Sex
Was it Sex
license
License Spray
spray
Tan? It
tan.
was, right?
Yeah, it was. It's like a tongue twister. I was like, ooh, saying it out loud. But yeah, and I luckily got to be a part of that as a guest before
Yeah,
going on
thank you.
pause. And I know a lot of fans were sad to see it go. Like I'm sure you probably saw like Reddit or comments and people were like, oh man, that sucks and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
Also, so not very nice comments though, too. So
yeah, that's the internet for you, unfortunately.
yeah. No, it's true. And by the
Yeah.
way, like I signed up for it. Like I get it. But
Yeah, I mean,
I think
to a degree, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you
No,
don't
I
deserve hate.
understand.
Yeah, you don't deserve hate, but like it comes with the territory, unfortunately.
It really does. And also like, I could choose not to be in this business period if I wanted to too. So
That is true, but here we
but
are with
there's no
what's what.
excuses. There's no excuses for their behavior, but like I think that's the only thing that can sometimes help. When you read comments like that, you're just like, okay, well, it just comes with the territory, you
Yeah,
know. It is what it is, and who knows who these people are. They don't even show their faces on
I know.
their avatar.
That's
So
what makes it worse to me because you
yeah.
can say whatever now and it doesn't matter. There's no consequences, and yeah,
Hmm.
not great. But yes, with the podcast, obviously this is about 2 years ago now when it went a
Hmm.
hiatus. So do
Hmm.
you think it's going to be more indefinite at this point, or could you see it bringing?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's for me in my life today. Um, I'm just not focused on this show anymore, and I think it did ruffle a lot of feathers, and I didn't. And especially what I care about more is not so much the people I don't know, it's the people I knew, and worked with for many years. And I don't want anyone to feel attacked, and no one's going to be reading or listening to the podcast thoroughly like I am. It's all the he said, and then the headlines would only pick up the negative stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I think it was just a little too risky. And I just, regardless, I don't want anyone to feel upset because they read Us Weekly. When that wasn't really necessarily, it was taken out of context.
It's like,
Whatever was said was always, every time was taken out of context. So it's like, but of course, they have to also sell. So it's a business.
yeah,
But I care, I think, a little too much about people more than business.
that's how it should be. But that's not always the case for every person. But I do admire
Well,
that
right.
you are thinking about that too.
Yeah, I just didn't, I mean, it did ruffle a lot. Let's just be real. It just definitely ruffled a lot of feathers. So I just don't, it didn't make me feel good, really. And mind you, I was very, um, I was very aware of what I was saying. I don't regret it whatsoever, but I also had a job to do, and sometimes, it was never to attack anyone's actual character. It was like, oh, the Tasha could have been better. And I understand how hard we all work. And that's the last thing they want to hear from their old colleague.
But now it's a part of the past, and
Well,
like I
now
said,
everyone else is doing it. So there you go.
yeah, there's so many podcasts out there.
About
It's a
Dancing
great
with the
country.
Stars. So
Yeah,
they can go get mad at them.
exactly. But yeah, you are no stranger, like I said, to embracing a new chapter. And like, I think it's just so much harder to do it in the public eye because I, of course, am doing this right now, but I'm not a famous person at this point. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a very different thing.
How
So
has it been for you?
I think it's been up and down, like with any person's journey. I feel like I've
Yeah.
been enjoying aspects and other aspects. I'm like, okay, when is this part going to be over? I need this thing
Mm.
to
Do you
change.
post daily?
I do, except for like the weekends are tougher. I'm trying to figure out when
That's
to
good.
deal with the weekends. Instagram is not my best friend. I'm more on TikTok.
See,
And
I flip
yeah,
flop too, girl. Like
yeah,
I mean, when I was killing it on TikTok when it was nasty. Again, just content that I'm not going to look back at 20 years from now and be proud of. So like, but you also have to change the algorithm yourself, and that takes
yes.
time.
It does, and I feel like I found my niche mostly talking on social media about like movies and TV and
Well,
nostalgia.
yeah, yapping
Yeah.
is where it's at. So
Yes, it
it's
is.
great.
Yeah, and I love that kind of stuff. And then with YouTube, I've been doing like the interviews, and we've been doing like breakdowns on different
Yeah,
pop
yeah,
culture topics, which has been fun. But
yeah.
we're just playing around with things, and that's kind of the beauty of right now. And I feel like you're kind of in that same
Yeah.
space too. You're seeing where it's going.
Yep. And I mean, ultimately, obviously, you're like, okay, well, with how much time I'm putting into this, like, what am I getting in return? Right? Like, time is money.
Yeah, I think about that every day.
And I've also dabbled into like, okay, well, maybe I need to create an online course about something that I'm passionate about, because like ultimately too, if we're trying to make a business out of this, you need to do so in your sleep and make money in your sleep. And if
Yeah.
it's content creation, chasing the algorithm, unfortunately, that's just going to get you nowhere.
The algorithm changes too, all the time.
But you need it. You still need to do it because you need to still, have your audience, because if you're going to launch anything, you don't have an audience, then that defeats the purpose too.
Yeah. How are you just finding moments of peace for yourself amid all of this? Like
I
not
love all this stuff.
okay.
I love the challenge. Like,
Okay.
it really gets me. It's my drug. So, and people will be like, "Oh, that's not healthy," and I'm like, "Yeah, either was what I was doing before
I
this."
know.
So,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're about to be
like,
it's the 8-year anniversary of your sobriety journey next month,
yes,
I
in
believe.
July.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an
I can't believe it's
awesome,
already next
awesome
month.
accomplishment. Like,
Thank you.
what can you credit to ultimately helping you stay on that track and keep that going?
God, higher power, or however you want to use it, however
High
you want to say
God
it.
for me, yeah.
Though I'm not very open, I find that to me, my spiritual journey, especially the last year, I've chosen for that to be a lot more personal and more private. And I think, people may think, oh, she's only doing makeup and she's like lost her mental health. It's like, okay, well, whatever. You say what you need to say, but like I don't think I've ever felt so grounded. Like, we go through it. Like, it's daily, right? Like, it changes. I'll have anxiety for whatever it is, and then, but at least I know how to control it in a way where it's like I just need to come back into my body and just
Yeah.
breathe. I would love to say that I meditate daily, but I definitely don't.
It's
And it has been actually more of a struggle, but I'm still in therapy. And I've always said this, I will always be in therapy until the day I die. I'm not in therapy as often, right? It's like maybe twice a month instead of 4 to 6 times a month. It's obviously situational, but I think having a backboard and having, whether it's somebody that you're paying or just somebody, or whether it's your journal, you just need to get it out, whatever it is.
yeah, it's important. It really is.
Hmm.
I took a year-long break from alcohol just because I was around it so much and I was like,
Yeah.
this is way too much. We need to just like ease back. And it was truly a game changer. My skin
Did
never
you
looked
plan on the
better.
year, or did you
I had
just
been thinking about it for a while and I told like my friend and her husband and they were like, once I eventually started doing it, they were like, "Oh wow, I remember you were talking about this like months ago, and you went for it, and we're so proud." And I'm like, "Yeah, I just needed it, you know. I think
yeah.
alcohol. There's no good thing about it, you
I
know."
mean, your skin must have changed, huh?
Yes, my skin never looked more clear. I felt like I lost like a little fat in my face too, and then
For
just
sure.
weight loss as well, like just naturally
Well,
because
and then your mood must have changed too,
yeah,
like, right?
yeah,
Like,
all of
even though we think we're drinking like wine, it's like the blood of Christ, like whatever. No, I mean, it's just it's excessive. Like, I think it's
yeah,
and if you can control that, like I can't. This is why I'm sober. So it's
yeah,
like there was no such thing as one drink for me. So it
yeah.
always turned into like, we're getting in, we're doing it.
Everyone's different. I mean, I have a friend that had the same situation as you, but like for me, I can, at this point, if I feel like I want to drink, I don't drink
Hmm.
too much. It's like 1 to 2, and then I cut myself off.
Oh,
And it's
that's
not
great.
very often at this point.
Yeah,
Because I just don't
yeah.
enjoy the feeling of being drunk. like,
Well, and then
like in my late 20s.
afterwards,
Yeah.
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 But
The
also, like,
after.
you can control yourself. You're not an addict, obviously. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very fortunate that that is not my story.
I think what the main for me, at least, it was numbing. Like, I really needed a device, and to me, it was like still socially acceptable to drink. Really, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's really what it was for me. It was to really quiet the noise in my head, and I didn't know how to deal with it sober, nor did I even care to do. Like, my therapist said to me, she goes, "When you first saw me, like, I couldn't even talk to you about this. Like, you were just not having it
Oh, no.
at
My
all.
therapist
Like,
is, yeah.
know."
My therapist is the best too. So like
Yeah.
it's
No,
so important.
it helps. Yeah, it helps for
Yeah.
sure.
I also just thought
So
about another point in your glamour essay that I loved because you were talking about, you quit Dancing with the Stars and then it was you got divorced, you moved. That was all in 1 year's time. So I'm just like, what kept you going during that time, and how did you kind of foster a sense of peace during that time? Because I can't imagine dealing with all of that in kind of one foul swoop.
well, yeah, that was the thing. It was like it kept me busy, so I didn't really have to think too much about it. But then when I there were those quiet times, I think I was ultimately just proud of myself. That was a big deal. And that was instead of like, you know, of course there were times where I felt maybe a little lonely, but I still to this day I am so isolated. I guess you could not really
Oh
isolated,
no.
but and I've just been like, I don't know, I think this is the reason why I created a new venture. Like there's also I think there's just a way to look at things, right? Like you can look at the negative or you can literally it can give you energy because good energy at the fact that anything can change in your life if you just make the decision to do it. And that is for me, that's exciting.
Is there something you can credit for your own confidence and your self-worth and
I think it's really being able to look at myself in the mirror and loving the person I see. I think that is the goal in life. Because like I know that I know that I'm strong. I know I've gone through it all and I'm still here, and I know a lot of people that are not here anymore that have gone through similar things. And it's life is an up and down roller coaster. And I think that to know that I can depend on myself is what gives me that confidence.
that's amazing. Yeah, and I know you recently celebrated turning 42, which is awesome. That's a huge milestone. What are you enjoying most about this current decade of life, being in your 40s?
It just gets I know this is so cliche and it makes me wanna roll my eyes as I just did, but, like, it does get better within yourself. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be like, "Ah, it just gets better, period." No, let me explain this. Like, it gets better meaning, like, you just feel more secure. You really feel your feet on the ground. You feel more, you feel I think it will be a journey, but, like, you do care less about what other people think of you,
Yeah,
and then you start to really understand, I guess, that, you know, you are going to be with you for the rest of your life. So you better like the person you see in the mirror. Because that really, I think when you create a stable relationship within yourself, then everything else just will fall into place.
that is so true. And, I also think about just aging in general and how it's such a gift, and we're so
It
lucky
is a
to
gift.
wake up the next day if we get to.
I'm proud to say I'm 42. When I get all these comments, this one person on TikTok commented recently, like, aren't you like 62? I'm like, no, not yet, but almost, like almost there. I got 20 more years, but yeah,
And you're gonna look good because you're a person of color, so you got the genetics on your side, and
I
you know
do.
your
Thanks, mom.
skincare and makeup stuff, so you're gonna be fine.
Right? We gotta make an illusion once in a while, so be it. I
Yes,
got you.
yes. Well, what are you hoping is next for you? Is there anything on your radar that you're like, okay, I'm trying to attack this next, or not that, or yeah.
I think entrepreneurship is it's really what's next. I think creating something that will ultimately help somebody, right? Whether that be whatever through the beauty industry or I've always been about that. I've always been about problem solution based. So and I did that on Dancing with the Stars. So I think that it just is a natural fit. And I really would love to create more of a community within the beauty space as well. And I really respect, everyone that's in this space because it is hard. It is very competitive. It's overly saturated, but I think that it forces you to then turn inwards and you have to be yourself because if you are trying to be another person or you're trying to be what you think other people want to see from you, that's when you get hidden. That's when like you just are part of the crowd, and it I think if anything, me being a part of this is not again about the makeup. It's more about like really understanding who I am and not being scared to show that side of me.
That is so perfectly said, and I feel like we could end it there.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
Cheryl,
you.
this was amazing. I'm so grateful that we were able to do this.
Thank
We'll be in
you.
touch. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this from me, Dory Jackson. Bye for now.